Reality is like a distraction from what's actually going on. That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna explain myself. We create this thing we call reality when your mom says like, get back to reality, stop playing video games. But when you think about it, the actual reality is that we are all just like little tiny specks in the wide scale of the universe, and we're so, oh god, we're so small, we don't matter, nothing matters. In order to distract ourselves from that mind-blowing, just ginormously existential thought, we created this reality in which we get up and we go to school and we get a job and we meet a nice gal, we settle down, have some kids, maybe a dog in there somewhere. And that's the reality. That's what everyone's living for. When in actuality, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Oh my god, help. So we get so immersed in this kind of reality where 17-year-old me was actually extremely stressed about how much graphite I had to rub on a dead tree, meaning how much homework I had to write. When you think about that, do you realize how dumb that is? That we're actually so stressed out about these things that have no meaning at all. None of it, really. Like, if you, like, it doesn't matter how much math problems you do, even though it made you cry in high school. It doesn't change anything. That was so intense. That was so intense. Thank you. My family and I just got together and watched the Back to the Future movies. Now, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, which gave me tons of nostalgic feelings, but also a lot of questions. Like why a high schooler is best friends with a nuclear physicist who's in his like 60s. Do they ever explain that at all? This got me thinking about time travel and if it did exist, how it would actually work. So far in my studies in chemistry, I've learned two major things. One, this is the most important compound to all Americans. And two, matter can never be created or destroyed. This means that everything that exists right now is made up of matter that has always been here. All the matter that ever was has been rearranged and changed in order to make you, my homegirl. Which technically means we're all made of like stardust, which is the coolest thing ever. Science. So whenever I think of time travel or teleportation, I always think of the classics. We got Back to the Future, Star Trek, Willy Wonka. And between these, there are some inconsistencies. Time is also flexible. So say this paper represents the timeline. Here are the dinosaurs and here's you. Technically, I could fold the timeline and create what's called a wormhole. That didn't work. If matter can't be created or destroyed, it exists throughout the entire timeline. So if I just plop back into dinosaur times, wouldn't the matter I'm made up of already exist? Making like double matter in that timeline? And then where I came from would have like an absence of matter? Because I'm gone, I'm over here. Anyway, who said time is linear, right? What, Sheldon? Yeah, get out of here, okay, whatever. What if that's not the case? What if this time is just like a big pool in which everything's happening at the same time? Because when you think about it, who created time? We did. To make sense of all this stuff that doesn't make any sense. Because we're so small, we can't understand it all. It's impossible. What if everything is just this big pool where everything's happening at the same time and you running into your doppelganger is like no big deal? So right about now you might be thinking, obviously Sarah, you haven't heard of this theory that explains everything that you're talking about. To which I would say, right, thanks, I'll check it out. But as much as I seem to be craving all these answers, I kind of don't want to know the true answer. Because I feel like when you finally get an answer to a question, you stop thinking about it. Like I don't ever sit and ponder what 2 + 2 is because I know it's 4. And although like prior agreed upon knowledge is essential for progression and discovery, like you can't build a rocket ship in a day. It's like the saying, why reinvent the wheel every time you have to do something? Like if you're going to build a bike, you might as well already use the wheel because it's there and it works. And it would make sense for you to make up your own invention to roll things. But I feel like that also stands in the way. Like, you know how the Earth revolves around the sun? Well, people in the 1500s didn't know that because they didn't figure it out yet. The scientific community back then decided that the sun revolves around the Earth. Because why wouldn't they think that? Every morning they saw the sun rise and set going around the Earth. But Copernicus had this fancy thing called a telescope and a bunch of other things, and eventually basing his work off a bunch of other scientists that deserve credit. He suggested the idea that maybe we have a heliocentric solar system. Helio meaning sun, centric meaning the center, the sun's in the center, everything goes around the sun. Heliocentric, your word of the day. People thought he was like dumb as shit because everyone knew that the sun revolved around the earth. Like, who is this guy? But after all that, it turns out that he was actually right. So I'm not saying you have to forget about all common knowledge before you sit down and think about what 2 + 2 is. But you should never be afraid to question the foundation. Who knows, maybe you'll disprove something and they'll start writing about you in history books. All right, so what have we learned? 1, don't be afraid to question what is known and theorize about whatever you want. If you have a theory about something that you think sounds dumb, really think about what the Big Bang says. The Big Bang is the theory of how the universe started that's most accepted among everyone, in which 2 particles came together and made an explosion that created everything. 2 specks that came from, I don't know, came together, hit each other, and exploded to create the universe that is forever expanding. How does that sound any less ridiculous than magic came on a unicorn and bam, and then the earth became a high. Number 2, Back to the Future has some huge plot holes. And number 3, be self-aware enough to know that whatever's going on, that you may feel like it's the end of the world, try to think the big picture. If you have something in your life that's really stressing you out and you feel like it's the end of the world, think about not even the scale of the universe, but the scale of just your entire life. Do these small times that you're going through something hard, are they really gonna make such an impact that will affect your entire life? I wish I could tell middle school me that nothing matters less than middle school to me right now. Middle school is at the rock bottom of things that I think about every day. But in middle school, if it helps, think about life as a video game. You have to do these little side quests like work and school in order to get to the final boss and finish the game and get your highest score. And the boss is dealing with the wife, am I right, fellas? So thanks so much for hearing me out. Leave your theories down below. Let me know if you have any other topics that I could lose sleep over, like dark matter or black holes. Oh god, that's so cool. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you can, it really helped me out. If you want to stick around, go ahead and subscribe. And until next time, see you later. Hey!